The media in this country somehow keeps getting worse and worse. Take a look at this from Media Matters. Sunday shows ignore Puerto Rico amid new study that nearly 5,000 people died as a result of Hurricane Maria. Following a new study estimating that almost 5,000 people died as a result of Hurricane Maria, Sunday news shows completely ignored the devastation and death toll that is 72 times higher than the government's official number of 64. Written up by the Washington Post, a May 29th Harvard University study estimates that at least 4,645 deaths can be linked to the hurricane and its immediate aftermath, and noted that healthcare disruption for the elderly and the loss of basic utility services for the chronically ill had significant impact. If the Harvard study is accurate, Maria will be the second deadliest hurricane in U.S. history. Thousands are still waiting for power. It is already estimated to and have caused $90 billion in damages in Puerto Rico alone. The devastation in the U.S. Virgin Islands from Hurricanes Irma and Maria has caused billions more in damage, and 2018 hurricane season is officially underway as of June 1st. Despite this less than a week-old study, the major Sunday political talk shows, which include CNN's State of the Union, ABC's This Week, CBS's Face the Nation, NBC's Meet the Press, and Fox Broadcasting Company's Fox News Sunday, were all silent on the subject. Listen, man, this is why, one of the big reasons why the American people, in poll after poll, despise mainstream media. Absolutely despise it. And when Trump screams about fake news, oftentimes that lands. Now, admittedly, Trump screams fake news for all the wrong reasons, because whenever anybody writes a negative story about him, that's when he describes it as fake news. It's not like he's being objective about what actually is and isn't a serious news story. But nonetheless, there's a lot of hatred towards the media in this country, and they love to, clutch their pearls and act like, oh, well, goodness me, I can't understand why anybody would say that. But this is why, guys, because they'd rather talk about the bullshit story of the day, whatever Donald Trump tweeted or whatever happened with Stormy Daniels or whatever conspiracy mongering about Russia. They'd rather do that than talk about very serious, real news stories. Listen, if the government is only admitting to 64 people dying as a result of Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico, and the number is really close to 5,000. Well, number one, the fact that they're lying is a gigantic scandal. But number two, the fact that 5,000 people died in a territory of the richest country ever last year as a result of a hurricane, well, that seems like even bigger news to me. This is a giant scandal. People in mainstream media should be screaming at the top of their lungs about how we need to do something more than what we've been doing. Some people still don't have power there. The infrastructure is still in tatters. We haven't done nearly enough, and hurricane season is already back. And they should be prodding the government to take this issue a hell of a lot more seriously than they are. But it gets no coverage. None, literally on the Sunday shows. None. Which shows you how they have an aversion to discussing serious issues that affect real people. They have multiple biases. On Fox News, they have a bias in favor of the Republican Party. MSNBC, they have a bias in favor of the Democratic Party. CNN has a bias in favor of both. Just a pro-establishment bias across the board. A neutrality bias. Hey, we're always going to call it 50-50. But the most important bias that's at play here is they have a sensationalism bias, which means they'd rather, oh my God, look, Kim Kardashian met with Donald Trump in the White House. Now, are they even going to talk about the substance of what was discussed? Criminal justice reform, where Kim's fighting for a pardon for somebody who's a nonviolent drug offender, which is actually a very noble thing to do. No. They'll just talk, celebrities. And it's just an endless parade of unserious drivel. Now, from a selfish perspective, I shouldn't be complaining about that, because that's why more people are attracted to outlets like mine. And also, that's one of the reasons why they're trying to tamp down on outlets like mine from succeeding through algorithms and things of that nature. But I care more about the direction of the country than I do about getting an edge over my competition in the media sphere. So I really wish that they'd start taking real problems seriously, but we know they're not going to do that, because if they did, Bernie Sanders would have got a hell of a lot more coverage in 2016. There'd be a hell of a lot more conversation about the fact that 45,000 people die every year from not having basic health care. There would be a giant national discussion about the fact that half of workers in America make $30,000 a year or less. There'd be an endless discussion going on about why the hell we're bombing 8 different countries right now when none of them are a threat to us. So, but they're not going to talk about any serious issues. They're going to continue to do the stupid conspiracy mongering. And it's terrible, man. It's like eating junk food every single meal. Just fucking packing yodels down your throat and eating McDonald's and just disgusting shit, as opposed to getting really nutritious food. You know, it might feel good in the moment. Hey, let's just fucking talk about Stormy Daniels, but then you're ignoring all the important shit that we should be talking about. So shame on the media in this country. It's a fucking disgrace. And also, as a little cherry on top, it's clear they don't give a shit about the people of Puerto Rico. They just don't care. Because, you know, my guess is if this was, you know, if this was Florida, there would have been at least a little bit of coverage, you know, but none for Puerto Rico. So they suck at their job, they're unserious people, and they don't give a shit about Puerto Ricans. That's my takeaway.